Come to me.
A ferry boat named Mortimer cuts through the dark waters of New York Harbor late at night. Two maintenance workers named Neil and Jared Johnston are working deep below the main deck in the hold of the ferry. They are checking the old machinery that keeps the boat running smoothly. As they walk through the dark corridors, they notice something strange. There is a sealed chamber that has been locked and sealed away for many years. The door is covered in layers of dust and looks like it has not been opened in decades, maybe even longer. Neil and Jared are curious. They want to know what could be inside this mysterious sealed chamber. They decide to unlock the door and see what is hidden inside. But as soon as they open the sealed door, something terrible happens. A creature suddenly bursts out with incredible speed and violence. It is a mouse, but not a normal mouse. It is a humanoid creature that stands about 2 feet tall and looks like a twisted, deformed version of the famous Mickey Mouse character. The creature is grotesque and monstrous, with a disturbing face and an evil presence. Its name is Steamboat Willie, and he has been trapped in this sealed chamber for 90 years. When he bursts out, he is filled with rage and anger. He attacks Neil immediately with brutal force, killing him within seconds. Jared tries to run and escape, but Willie catches him before he can get away. Jared is killed as well. The two maintenance workers never had a chance. They have awakened a monster that has been imprisoned for 9 decades. Hours pass. As the sun begins to set, passengers start boarding the Staten Island ferry for the late-night crossing. One of the first passengers to board is a woman named Selena. She is played by actress Allison Piddle. Selena is a clothing designer living in New York City, but she is unhappy and exhausted. She came to the city with dreams of becoming a successful artist, but after years of struggling, she has lost all hope. She is seriously considering moving back to Minnesota to start a new life. She looks tired and sad as she walks onto the ferry. But behind her comes a loud group of women who are celebrating a birthday party. There are 5 women in total, and they are all dressed as Disney princesses. One woman is dressed as Cinderella, and her name is Cindy. Another is dressed as Ariel the mermaid, and her name is Ariana. The third woman is dressed as Jasmine from Aladdin, and her name is Jazzy. The fourth woman is dressed as Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and her name is Bella. The fifth woman is dressed as Elsa from Frozen, and her name is Ilsa. These women are extremely loud and obnoxious. They are singing Disney songs, laughing loudly, and generally making a lot of noise. Selena wants to get away from them as quickly as possible. She walks quickly through the ferry, trying to find a quiet place where she can escape from the party. As Selena is walking through the ferry, trying to avoid the loud princess group, she meets a ferry worker named Pete. Pete is played by actor Jesse Posey. Pete is kind, friendly, and helpful. He can see that Selena is uncomfortable and trying to escape from the noisy party. He talks to her, and they have an immediate connection. There is genuine chemistry between them. Pete is named after Pegleg Pete, the villain from the original 1928 Steamboat Willie cartoon. But Pete himself is a good person who cares about Selena. They smile at each other, and Pete offers to help her find a peaceful place on the ferry where she can relax away from all the noise and chaos. Other passengers continue to board the ferry as well. There is a woman named Amber who works as an emergency medical technician, or EMT. There is a crew member named Barry. There is a police officer named Lieutenant Diaz, played by Jesse Cobb. There is a politician named Borough President Molinari. There is a radio operator who controls all the communication systems on the ferry. There are various other New York City passengers, each with their own reasons for being on the boat. The ferry is now filled with people as it prepares to begin its late-night journey across the water. The ferry finally begins its slow journey through the New York harbor. The night is peaceful and calm. The passengers feel safe and comfortable. Then Willie encounters one of the passengers in a dark corner of the ferry. A sudden, shocking confrontation happens. Willie attacks with unbelievable speed and strength. The passenger tries to scream, but Willie is too fast and too strong. The attack is brutal and violent. Blood spills across the deck of the ferry. The first murder has been committed, but the other passengers above deck do not know yet. They do not know that there is a killer walking among them. The party continues. Selena and Pete continue talking. No one has noticed what happened in the darkness below. Then something goes terribly wrong. One of the passengers is missing. People start looking for them and asking questions. There is confusion and worry spreading through the ferry. Someone goes below deck to check and discovers the body of the murdered passenger. They scream in absolute horror. Their screams echo loudly through the entire ferry. Suddenly, everyone realizes that something is very, very wrong. There is a killer on the ferry. Terror and panic start to spread quickly among all the passengers. People are running and screaming. Everyone understands that they are now trapped on a boat with a dangerous murderer, and no one can escape. The Loud Princess group realizes the danger and tries to group together for protection and safety, but they are scattered across the ferry, separated from each other in different areas. Selena and Pete realize that they need to stay together if they want to survive this nightmare. They decide to work as a team to figure out what is happening and to protect themselves from the killer. They explore the ferry carefully, trying to understand what they are dealing with. They are trying to find information about the killer. Then they see Willie. For the first time, a passenger comes face to face with the creature. Willie appears before them. He is small, only about 2 feet tall, but there is something deeply, seriously wrong about him. His movements are unnatural and strange. His face looks twisted and deformed. He is grotesque and terrifying to look at. The actor David Howard Thornton is inside the creature suit, and he moves with strange Mr. Bean-like mannerisms. He walks in an odd and jerky way. He tilts his head in a disturbing and twisted manner. His movements are unpredictable and creepy. When he sees the passengers, he does not look scared or worried. Instead, he looks excited and happy. He is smiling in a twisted and evil way. He is ready to hunt them all. Willie moves quickly toward the first passenger he sees. His movements are incredibly fast and deadly accurate. He has strength and power that seems impossible for a creature his small size. He attacks viciously with claws and teeth. The passenger tries desperately to fight back, but it is completely useless. Willie is too fast and too strong. The passenger is killed in a horrible and graphic way. Arms are severed from bodies. Legs are cut off. Heads are torn away. Blood sprays across the deck and walls of the ferry. The violence is extremely graphic and detailed. The practical effects show real-looking blood and gore. The filmmakers do not hide or soften the violence in any way. They show everything in full detail. More and more passengers die as Willie hunts them throughout the ferry. Some have their heads severed from their bodies. Some have their arms ripped off their shoulders. Some have their legs cut off at the knees. The deaths are creative and varied, each one more violent and graphic than the last. The filmmakers show that Willie is enjoying the killing. He is not just killing for survival or for food. He is killing because he enjoys it. He is playing with his victims. He is torturing them. He is laughing and enjoying their pain and fear. He moves through the ferry like a ghost, appearing suddenly in dark corners and disappearing just as quickly. He is unstoppable and cannot be stopped. The passengers are running out of places to hide. The ferry is not very large. There are only so many rooms and corridors to hide in. Eventually, Willie will find everyone. One by one, the princess group meets horrible fates. Cindy, the Cinderella princess, is killed in a brutal and graphic way. Ariana, the mermaid princess, is killed next. Jazzy, the Jasmine princess, is killed. Bella, the Beauty and the Beast princess, is killed. Ilsa, the Elsa princess, is killed. The women in their Disney costumes fall to Willie's violence one after another. The irony is dark and bitter. They came onto the ferry to celebrate and have fun, to enjoy their childhood nostalgia. Instead, they found death and horror. Barry, the crew member, tries to fight Willie with various tools and objects he can find on the ferry. He uses metal pipes and heavy tools as weapons, but nothing works against the creature. Willie is too powerful and too fast. Barry is eventually killed as well. Lieutenant Diaz, the police officer, tries to take control of the situation. He tries to organize the remaining passengers and fight back against Willie using his authority, but he is also killed. Borough President Molinari tries to hide and escape from Willie, but Willie finds him and kills him. The radio operator tries to call for help and send a distress signal to the Coast Guard, but Willie cuts off the communications, leaving the ferry completely isolated in the middle of the water. The death toll continues to rise with each passing minute. More passengers fall to Willie's violence. The ferry has transformed from a peaceful boat into a nightmare of blood and death. Bodies are scattered across the decks and corridors. Blood covers the floors and walls. The smell of death fills the air. The screams and sounds of horror echo through the boat. The remaining passengers, who are still alive, are traumatized and desperate. Selena becomes the main focus of the remaining story. She is the central character we are following and rooting for. She is the final girl of this horror film, the main character who we want to survive. Selena has been separated from Pete at some point during all the chaos and confusion. She is alone and frightened. She is trying to survive and figure out how to stop Willie or escape from him. She discovers important information about Willie by exploring the sealed chamber. She learns that Willie has been trapped there for 90 years. She learns that he is desperately searching for something that he lost overboard many years ago. She learns that his rage and pain have driven him completely to madness and murder. Understanding Willie's motivation helps her figure out how to survive and possibly stop him. Selena comes face to face with Willie at a critical moment. When he sees her, something unexpected and shocking happens. Willie suddenly stops his attack. He looks at Selena very carefully. For a moment, it seems like he might recognize her or see something in her face that reminds him of someone from his past. The filmmakers suggest that Willie thinks Selena might be Minnie Mouse, the female companion of Mickey Mouse from the original cartoons. This confusion and mistaken identity saves Selena's life for now. Willie does not kill her because he believes she might be important to him or connected to his past. He spares her while he continues to hunt other passengers. Selena uses this moment of confusion to escape from Willie. She runs through the corridors of the ferry, desperately trying to find Pete and figure out how to survive this terrible nightmare. She realizes that they need to work together if they have any chance of making it through the night alive and escaping the ferry. The ferry is moving slowly toward the end of its journey. Eventually, it will dock at the shore and help will arrive. They just need to survive until then. The violence continues throughout the night, but the pacing of the killing is slowing down. Fewer passengers remain alive. Most have already been killed by Willie. The ferry is nearly empty of living people. Only Selena, Pete if he is still alive, and a few other scattered survivors remain. Willie continues to hunt, but his targets are becoming harder to find as they hide better. The remaining passengers are hidden in various parts of the ferry, trying to stay quiet and avoid being discovered. There is a final confrontation between the survivors and Willie. Selena and perhaps Pete or other survivors face off with the creature in some climactic way. The details of exactly how this confrontation happens are intense and frightening. The film builds toward this final moment of truth. Selena must use her intelligence and her courage to face the creature and try to survive. The confrontation is intense and violent. There is a desperate struggle for survival between humans and the monster. During the climactic moment, the survivors might find a way to slow Willie down or injure him. Perhaps they use the steam engine of the ferry against him in a creative way. Perhaps they manage to trap him in a locked room. Perhaps they hurt him enough to give themselves a chance to escape and survive. The ferry continues its slow journey toward the dock. The dawn is breaking on the horizon. The terrible night of horror is finally coming to an end. As the ferry gets closer to the shore and help approaches, the film includes a mid-credits scene. This scene shows the radio operator receiving a radio transmission. The voice on the other end of the radio is Pete's voice. Pete is alive. He has somehow managed to survive the ordeal on the ferry. He is contacting help and giving information about what happened during the night. This suggests that Pete did survive the horror. This also suggests that Selena survived as well, or at least that Pete made it through to the end to tell the story. The film ends with this ray of hope and possibility. After all the blood and death and horror, at least some of the main characters have survived the night. The rescue will come. The authorities will arrive at the ferry. The horror on the ferry will finally be over, but the trauma and fear will remain with the survivors forever. The survivors will never forget what happened during this terrible night on the water. The ferry finally reaches the dock and ties up. The sun is coming up over the horizon. The nightmare has ended. Authorities arrive and help the survivors leave the boat. The film ends here, but it is clear that the story is not completely over. A sequel is already in development with the title Screamboat 2, Nothing Stays Dead, which suggests that Willie may not be completely defeated. The terror may return again. The horror may not be finished. This is Screamboat, a horror comedy film that was released on April 2nd, 2025, in movie theaters across America on 600 screens. The film was made with a budget of approximately $2 million. It runs for 1 hour and 42 minutes. It received mixed reviews from critics, with 51% positive ratings on the review website Rotten Tomatoes and a score of 44 out of 100 on the review site Metacritic. The film was directed by Stephen Lamort and written by Stephen Lamort and Matthew Garcia Dunn. It stars actor David Howard Thornton as the creature Willie. David Howard Thornton is famous for playing Art the Clown in the Terrifier movies. Allison Piddle plays Selena. Jesse Posey plays Pete. Amy Schumacher plays Amber, the EMT. The film is a horror comedy that does not take itself seriously. It combines extreme gore and violence with dark humor and Disney references. It is deliberately absurd and ridiculous. It is a film that knows exactly what it is and executes its vision perfectly. For fans of low-budget horror films, campy humor, and extreme practical effects, Screamboat delivers exactly what it promises: a ridiculous, bloody, and entertaining story of a murderous mouse terrorizing innocent passengers on a ferry in New York City. Let me know what you think about this horror movie in the comments section below.